What's up, everybody? It's your boy Austin D back on the video. Before we get started, don't forget, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. All right, let's get started. All right, y'all, so today we're going to be talking about those codes that you hear police officers using. And you're like, I don't know what the hell they be meaning. Hear it on TV shows, hear it on movies. And you just like, for one, a lot of people have a question of, is it all the same everywhere? How long does it take to learn it? And what the hell are they saying? So today we're going to dive into those secret codes, and I'll tell y'all some of the most common ones that are used everywhere because they are not the same everywhere. Each department can have their own 10 codes. And that's part of the biggest problem right now with why police departments are starting to go away from 10 codes, because every department can have their own. So right now, everybody's getting these radios that allows us to easily communicate with each other, right? So back in the day, I guess they weren't able to really switch over and talk to the next city over, or it wasn't as easy, or something like that, or a big major event happened. It wasn't easy to just patch everybody together on one channel. Now you can. And when you got people using different 10 codes, you got a problem. I never forget, like right out of FTO, I got a call. I was like close to home too. I worked up at the side of town that I stayed on. I was like on my way there, and they give a call out and say, this person's signal 44 or whatever it was, and we don't use signals. So I said, you said they're signal 44? This lady said, yeah, 10-4. 10-4. Bro, I had no clue what that meant. So the supervisor got on the radio and was like, can we use our 10 codes, please? Apparently their signal 44 is a deceased person. I ain't know that. That's not our 10 code. Typically what happens is whenever a call comes in from the county will use their 10 codes to send the call over to us. And we got different 10 codes. So they're using signal 44. Ours is 1067. They ain't nowhere like each other. So I don't know why we're sitting there using different, like it doesn't even make sense. But that's why everybody's trying to go away from using 10 codes and is trying to use plain talk. So if there's a major event happening and we gotta patch together multiple agencies, we're not having the confusion trying to figure out like what we're talking about. Because I can tell you right now, you get around some cops from different agencies, they're gonna be using different 10 codes and thinking you know what the hell that means. But so some common 10 codes though that most everybody share is 10-4, which is just an affirmative, okay? Apparently not everybody uses 10-4. I don't know if she's playing with me or what, but an officer from a different agency did a ride along with me. We were in the academy together. And she just wanted to come to a ride along, but she worked in a neighboring agency. And whenever communication checks on us, our dispatchers, they'll say, hey, whatever unit number is, are you 10-4? And that just means, are you okay? And you just say 10-4 back. Yeah, I'm okay. Well, apparently her agency doesn't use 10-4. I don't know how true that is, but I can't imagine somebody not using 10-4. Everybody uses 10-4. But she was like, what is that? What you mean, what is that? What is 10-4? First of all, everybody know what 10-4 mean. Even if you don't use it at your agency, you know what 10-4 mean. But she's like, what is that? We don't use that. And apparently they use a signal, whatever. The signal, whatever. I don't know, whatever it is. They use signals to say they're 10-4. Okay. I guess. But 10-4 is mostly used everywhere. Everybody know what 10-4 means. It's not 10-4, it's 10-4. You gotta say 10-4. See, 10-7 and 10-8. 10-7 is out of service. 10-8 is in service. Out of service basically means you're not available for calls anymore. So you're doing something. Now our agency has 10-7 and then a bunch of different codes. Right? So 10-7 code 1, code 2, whatever. I don't know what those are. I never learned them, to be honest. A newer officer came over to me. When I mean newer, like been out like a month and a half, 2 months now. And they said, I'm going out, code whatever. And I said, okay. I looked at the officer beside me and I said, what is that? And she said, I don't know either. Don't nobody use it. Actually, you just go on the computer. Just go in there, check yourself out, and you get the drop-down list of what those codes are. I don't know what they are. Never learned it. But 10-7 out of service, 10-8 is in service, all right? Now, the contrary to that is there's also a 10-41 and there's a 10-42. The 10-41 means you're beginning your tour of duty. 10-42 is ending your tour of duty. That's also about the same everywhere. The opposite of 10-4 is 10-10, which is your negative, right? So 10-4, 10-10, not negative or whatever. However you want to use that. Now 10-11 through 10-20 could be different everywhere. And I found that it just about is different everywhere. I don't know if we have a 10-11. Do we have a 12? Do we have 13? I think 13 is weather. We don't even use those numbers, to be honest. We use 10-14, and that's information. So that means that, there's some information for you. So dispatchers might say, just 10-14, that person is wanting to come and speak to you, or that person has this, that person has that. It's just information delivering to you. Now 10-15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, no, we do have an 18. I don't think we have a 15, 16, 17. I think we just skipped that somehow. 1018 for us is emergency traffic. So you'll get a call, you'll be like, need you to respond 1018 to whatever. Officers calling for assistance. You just say, have no officer respond 1018, it's license siren. 1019 for us is we're in contact with somebody. So you walk up on somebody, hey, I'm 1019 with the victim. Like that. 1020 is pretty much the same everywhere. It's your location. So what's your 1020? Where you at? 1021, I think it's pretty much the same. It's a phone call. Hey, 1021 me real quick. Which some codes just don't make sense because why can't you just say, hey, just call me real quick? I don't get it, but 1021, call me. 1022 for us is disregard. Most of these either 1022 or even 1022, they're not used everywhere. But 1027, 28, and 29 are pretty much everywhere. All right. And these are the three most that people are going to get mixed up on when they start FTO. 27, 28, 29. All right. 27, driver's license check. All right. So that means you're getting on the radio and you're asking somebody to run a person's driver's license. All right. 28 is vehicle registration check. I mean, it's the same thing. You're just wanting somebody's vehicle registration checked. And 1029 is your warrants. Okay. Let me tell you something. People know what 1029 mean. All right. Depending on where you work at. I usually try to run my warrants by myself. Okay. I don't like running warrants over the radio because somebody give you a fake name in a heartbeat. You run a radio and they ain't got no warrant. Yeah, it sounds good, but you'll never know. So I like to check my own warrants. But let me tell you that the times that you do check for 1029s over the radio, they be knowing. And as soon as you say 1029 check, they're like, I ain't got no warrants. Check me, I ain't got no warrants. They already know, man. And you be like, I ain't even checking. Yes, you are. You said 1029. Bro, they be knowing. They know 1029. All right. They got 1029 down pat, boy. So there's no even point in hiding it. Like, one of the things that new people do, and I did it too, and I had to be told to stop doing it, is when you about to check somebody for warrants, they typically look away or try to walk away and do it real silently. And a lot of times they'll be the only officer there or it's their call. And you're like, what are you doing that for? Like, check in front of them. It's okay. They already know you're checking it for warrants. I mean, you might as well just do it in front of them. Let them hear it too. And pretty much after 27, 28, 29, there's not many commonalities after that. Like, it just gets all mixed up from there. I think 1050 is one that's pretty common. 1050 is, your 1050s are your accidents, right? So most places will have it broken down. Your 1050 PD, which is just a property damage. A 1050 PI, somebody's injured. And your 1050 F is a fatality. All right. Now, I've seen some agencies have some different codes off of that too, like your 1050 something. But ours, we just got three, the PD, PI, and F. After that, it's all mixed up. There ain't no telling what's going on after that. It's like, you can go to sheriff's office, they start having 10 codes that don't even make sense. Like, they'd be very specific. Chicken and roadway, cow breastfeeding. I mean, it'd just be some crap that you just like, y'all got a code for that, bro? Like, y'all really, it's really that frequent that y'all got a code for a cow giving some milk. Okay, I see what y'all, that's the sheriff's office stuff though. That's what they do. But for real, 10 codes are different everywhere. There's some commonalities, but they're pretty much different. If you're starting out, you're trying to learn 10 codes, let me tell you, this is the best route to do it. Take your piece of paper, write down all your 10 codes on there. See, in the list, just 10-0, 10-1, 10-2. But leave the word in blank, right? So just make some copies of that sheet and then go through and just write in what they are, right? You got to do it several times. And then on the contrary, you write down on another piece of paper just the words, and then you go and fill in by yourself without using it, the numbers, what it is, 10-0, 10-1, stuff like that. That was a very easy way for me to remember how to do it. Listening to the radio isn't, I mean, you got to listen to it for a while to start learning 10 codes because they can be confusing. All right, for real. And a lot of them, we don't even use. The other day they came out and they sent about 4 people to a call, 1045. I'm like, why are they sending 4 people to this call? Like, the hell is a 1045? It's a dead bomb threat at the hospital. And I'm like, okay, it makes sense now. But it took me a while to figure that out. Like, I didn't know what the hell 1045 was. It's not something we have common, you know? I feel like dispatchers should know that. They should know we don't know what a 1045 is. Like, I ain't heard that since I heard it the first time. You know, like, come on now. If I got the video for this or not, if I do, I'll put it in here. He's driving the street and he calls out a 1060. I don't even know what it is. He's driving the street and he calls out a 1068. And we're all, like, literally, I'm in a room with other officers and, like, people that work at the PD. And they're just like, everybody's like, what? And this is at, like, 2 o'clock in the morning. He calls us out. And the dispatcher says, huh? He says, signal 1 at 1068. I say, go ahead. And he said, there's a squirrel in the roadway. 1068 is dead animal in the roadway. And they said, 10-9? which is repeat. And he said, dead animal in the roadway. It's a squirrel. Did we bust out laughing? They're laughing on the radio when they're saying 10-4. Captain gets on the radio and he's like, did he say it's a squirrel in the roadway? And the officer gets back on. It's like 10-4 it is. And Captain's like, okay, is it a big squirrel? And this mofo gets back on the radio and says, well, it's a pretty medium-sized squirrel. If you don't leave that goddamn squirrel alone, man. The hell going on? You got time to be sitting here just getting squirrels out the roadway?
Charlie 61, signal 1, 1068.
Dead animal call.
Charlie 61, 10-4.
Charlie 1, is it a big squirrel?
10-10, pretty medium-sized squirrel.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, you're trying to learn 10 codes, write them things down. They all online somewhere. You can look at your city somewhere. There's some people that went through the academy, especially Quizlet. You can look up Quizlet and your city's probably on there. Test yourself on them. Listen to the radio can help a little bit, but not if you're learning them like and you don't know them. It'll take forever to learn all of them on the radio or like a scanner app or something. So, and don't always trust the scanner app because like if your city isn't on there, you listen to another city, remember, they're not all the same. So the 10 codes for the city right next to the city you want to go to, they're going to be using different 10 codes. So you can't always rely on that. But get the list of 10 codes. They're online somewhere, especially Quizlet. Personal Academy, put them on there to study. I'm pretty sure they're on there. And just start learning them. It don't take long. But that's it, man. There's no secret about it. We're trying to go away from them. I don't know if we'll actually ever go away from them. Like, there is still some good use to them. The other day, I had somebody fight with me, and I knew he was going to fight. So I was waiting for another officer to show up, and I said, hey, we're about to go 1072. And he didn't know what that meant. That means we're about to go ahead and arrest this guy. But let's go ahead and let that officer know that we're about to go ahead and do this like right away. and that way we can go ahead and get ready. But there are some codes that we can still use to like talk to each other and not let the other person or the person that we're out with know. But for the most part, man, all that stuff is public knowledge. You can get it from anywhere. I mean, it's not illegal to know police 10 codes, you know. But if you're trying to learn them things, man. Learn them before you start an FTO. Don't be that guy that don't know what 10 codes are. You're just saying yes. Signal 7. That's what it was for me. Signal 7, I did not know what it was for the longest time. I just always said 10-4. But Signal 7 means, are you like in a private place, like away I don't even know what it means, to be honest. I don't know if I've ever seen it written down, but it's something like, are you away that we can tell you information that we don't want them to hear? So like, if you're talking to somebody, you're going to call already and communications come on and be like, hey, you Signal 7? That means they want to tell you something they don't want that person to hear. All right, you'd be like, hey, caller stating in that person has a gun on them or something like that. Something like that. But anyway, that's it for this video, man. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. See you next time, all right? Adios.